Those of us who enjoy flying at lower elevations, below 500 feet, may soon have some very unwelcome company. They may be the talk of the Milan, Italy Olympic Games, but drones are not everyone's favorite flying machine. As you know, sport aviators fly all kinds of aircraft, such as hang gliders, trikes, powered parachutes, powered paragliders, all manner of ultralight aircraft, but they also fly seaplanes, which commonly operate at low altitudes. Hired lobbyists have pushed for Beyond Visual Line of Sight, BVLOS. This means remotely flown drones, somewhat like these, or delivery drones, but not military drones, may all soon be flown beyond visual contact, with the pilot operating them only through a screen on a controller he holds. While drones can do some valuable work, this intrusion into the low altitude spaces is a great concern. And here's the real rub. They want you to add equipment to your aircraft so they can see and avoid you, even if your aircraft doesn't have an electrical system. If they were supplying the equipment, that would be one thing, but this will be at your expense, and you'll still have no guarantee against a mid-air collision. It's already too late to make FAA short window to comment, but you can always express yourself. Now let my good friend Roy Beisswenger explain more detail while he takes you on a powered parachute flight.
If you fly low, if you fly slow, and especially if you fly below 400 or 500 feet, this video matters to you. The Federal Aviation Administration has quietly reopened the comment period on one of the most consequential drone rulemakings ever, and the window to respond closes February 11th. This is about beyond visual line of sight drones, right of way, and whether manned aircraft are expected to move out of the way of unmanned ones, unless we equip. This reopening is short, it's narrow, and it may be the last meaningful opportunity for pilots to influence how these rules are finalized. So what just happened? Back in August of 2025, the FAA published a notice of proposed rulemaking called Normalizing Unmanned Aircraft Systems Beyond Visual Line of Sight Operations. That comment period closed in October. More than 3,000 comments were submitted, and over half of them focused on right-of-way and electronic conspicuity. The FAA originally refused to extend the deadline, but now, after listening sessions and industry feedback, the FAA has reopened the comment period until February 11th, 2026. And it is reopened only on two issues: electronic conspicuity and right-of-way. That alone should tell you how controversial and how unresolved this proposal still is. So here is what the proposal actually says in plain English. Under the proposed Part 108 framework, beyond visual line of sight drones would be allowed to operate routinely at low altitudes, the same airspace used by powered parachutes, ultralights, agricultural aircraft, helicopters, balloons, light sport aircraft, and others. The proposed rule would, in many cases, give unmanned aircraft presumptive right-of-way over manned aircraft. The key exception, if the manned aircraft is broadcasting ADS-B out or an approved alternate electronic conspicuity device. If you are not electronically visible, you may be the one to yield from a tiny aircraft you may or may not be able to see in time to avoid. Let that sink in. This is why this matters to low-altitude pilots. Most powered parachutes operate below radar, outside controlled airspace, below ADS-B mandates, and sometimes without electrical systems capable of traditional ADS-B. This proposal effectively says, if you are not electronically detectable, you may not have right-of-way. That flips decades of aviation doctrine on its head. For over a century, aviation safety has relied on see and avoid, pilot accountability, and shared responsibility. This proposal moves us toward equipage-based right-of-way, corporate fleet operations, and algorithmic deconfliction. And it does so in the very airspace where human pilots are most vulnerable. So here is the core question. The FAA is now explicitly asking, are there lower cost, portable electronic conspicuity devices that could work? How soon could they be available? Should they meet the same performance standards as ADS-B out? Should they notify pilots when they fail? And are there other technologies besides ADS-B that should be allowed? This is where pilot input matters most. If pilots don't speak up, the default solution may be ADS-B-like equipage, the cost burden may land on individual aircraft owners, and the operational realities of low and slow aviation may be ignored. The FAA has already acknowledged that mandating ADS-B below 500 feet was considered and rejected only due to cost concerns. That door is not closed. My concern is the accountability problem. Here's the fundamental issue. Human pilots have skin in the game. A mid-air collision is usually fatal. Drone operators do not share that personal risk. When responsibility shifts from, I must see and avoid because my life depends on it, to the other aircraft wasn't electronically visible, we have fundamentally altered accountability in the national airspace system. And once that shift happens, it is very difficult to undo. Here is why this reopening is so important. The FAA is not reopening the entire rule. They are reopening only the parts they are still wrestling with. That means they are still listening, the final rule is not settled, and well-reasoned pilot comments still matter. But this reopening is only 14 days. No extensions, no second chances. So here is what you should do right now. If you fly powered parachutes, powered paragliders, other ultralights, helicopters, agricultural aircraft, balloons, or really any light sport aircraft, you should submit a comment. You do not need to be a lawyer. You do not need to write pages and pages of content. What matters is that your comment is specific, operational, and grounded in real-world flying and concerns. Tell the FAA where you fly, how you fly, what equipage is realistic or not, and explain why see and avoid still matters. I've placed the direct link to the FAA docket in the video description. Comments must be submitted no later than February 11th. Rules like this don't change overnight. They change quietly, one comment at a time. If pilots stay quiet, others will define the future of low-altitude airspace for us. Please take a few minutes to read the proposal, submit a comment, and if you know other pilots who fly low and slow, share this video with them. And finally, if you're interested in powered parachute flight instruction in either the Midwest or Florida, please visit the link in the description to easyflight.com. And please remember to like and subscribe if you're interested in powered parachutes. Thanks so much for watching, and blue skies.